Good morning, everyone. We're here in southern Paraguay with Héctor Zub at AgroZafra. Huge farm. They come from Ukrainian roots. They've been growing rice for about 90 years. Really neat history. And we're excited to check out some of their air seeders. They have 6 John Deere drills. It's always neat to learn about these unique operations, the family history. Here we have the opportunity to learn just more about this great history and in this country, Paraguay. All right, we've gone about an hour down the highway. We got to actually jump in with Héctor here in his Ford Ranger Raptor. The roads, the rest of the way, about another half an hour, really muddy. They had about 4 to 8 inches of rain. So we're going to jump with him and get the rest of the way there.
Justamente esto, como hay mucha lluvia, él está guardando ya agua en el campo. O sea, está lleno el reservorio.
Héctor is saying they have a 500 hectare reservoir just for holding water so that they can flood irrigate their rice fields. And a normal rice operation, you'd have to have a 1-to-1 ratio, 500 hectares of reservoir, 500 hectares of rice field. But because they can replenish it quickly, they do about 4 times more. So for the 500 hectare reservoir, they can do about 2,000 hectares rice fields. This is definitely going to be a ready first, the first time we've ever been on a big rice farm. I'm really excited to see things that they have to do different just to be able to farm this special commodity, this special rice that they have to produce. Everything is wet, everything's muddy, there's water that they have to move in and out constantly, and so many challenges as a result of all that water and mud. So this is the second John Deere air seeder that they have on this particular rice farm. This one they got a couple seasons ago. It needed some work and some upgrades, so they have already put stainless steel on it to take care of the meter corrosion issue. Bushings have come out. I'm seeing a lot of movement here, and it's not just between the bushings and the pin. It's actually because this pinch point is not tight enough on the pin, so the whole pin is moving. You have to replace the whole anchor to take care of that slop. There's a lot of corrosion on this machine, and you can tell someone before them tried to repaint it. Definitely a lot of corrosion, more than what we typically see on the frame. Here's something I've actually never seen before. They have put a nut on top of this depth arm stud so that you actually cannot adjust depth. They have fixed this so that it is permanently locked in that position. The real challenge here is they're having issues with trying to seed at the depth that they want. But when you grab this gauge wheel here, look at how much is moving. You've got easily 1.5 inches, 2 inches of depth. They think they're putting it in the shallowest seeding position, but look how deep it's going to be going. So we've got issues here with the depth shaft. We've got issues with the seed boot having a lot of play. Just overall a lot of challenges on this machine. These air seeders here are some of the highest acre hectare machines I've ever seen, and definitely showing its use, definitely showing its age. These things are running in mud all the time, and they're having constant bearing issues. They hardly make it, sometimes 1,000 hectares, and they're replacing bearings on the disc hubs. Boots, they replace 2 times for every 1 disc. And even these discs are very small. They just aren't aware of when to best replace these discs before it starts really wearing on that seed boot. So they've had so much rain here lately. They're actually late getting to the fields. They're wanting to go seed, but it's so muddy they just have to sit and wait. And in the meantime, try to just be ready to go when it is go time. What challenges do they have with this machine? What are some things they wish it did better?
The bearings, some maybe bushings, and the seed sensors. They have a lot of problem with that.
What kind of problems?
It doesn't work anymore.
Okay. Do they want it to work?
Yeah. Of course.
All right, it's time to jump back in the Raptor here and get going down the muddy trail. So one thing I'm learning here is these rice fields, they have to be able to control all the water that comes through. And to use less water, they have elevation changes throughout the field. And there's these terraces and these ditches zigzagged all over through the field. There's actually a plan and a reason for that. Everything is GPS, RTK guidance. They know exactly where to run these ditches so they can get the water to where it needs to go. What's the total depth of water they want in here when it's growing?
La profundidad que es
6 centímetros de agua.
6 centimeters.
Hector was also saying that they had to reseed this field because it rained a lot and then got really cold, so the seeds did not germinate properly. Here's one of the many canals that run through the farm. This goes next to every field. They got to move a lot of water to get to the high point of the field so that they can flood it 12 days after germination to get that rice taken off and maturing. Here we are at the main pumping station. We got these huge pipes out here. We got both 340, 500 horsepower motors on each of these rafts. They can pump anywhere from 8 to 10 million liters of water every hour. They gotta pump tons of water from this river so that they can flood all their fields when it's the right time. I believe they just had about 8 inches of rain 2 days ago. They got pounded here. So this river is actually very swollen right now, which has caused a lot of delays for them to get back in the field and seeding the rice. 10 belts on this huge motor to run this pump, to pump all this water out of the river to the fields, to the canals that they need. We are back here at the car. The car is still here. It's not stolen, so that's good. We can still get home, but we've learned a ton. Paraguay has come a long way, going from 20,000 hectares now, producing 240,000 hectares of rice. Incredible growth. And Hector and his family farm is part of that growth, and they're doing a lot of good things to keep producing food to feed the rest of the world. So it's been a great pleasure to meet you, Hector. Appreciate the time.
Muchas gracias por la visita.
Thank you so much.
Gracias.
And that was our last inspection, the last farm visit. And now I got to get ready, head to Asuncion, so that we can get back home and back with our families. One thing that I learned from Benny is that just 7 years ago, their main roads were unpaved. A lot of them were just natural dirt or gravel. And whenever it would rain, which would actually be a lot, it was just this big muddy mess and so difficult to get to the next major town for when they needed supplies. So this jagged rock style is what the roads used to be always made out of. And there's still a lot of roads like that. You can see some of the cross section of what this is. They put like a P-rock or a small stone in here, and then they put the larger stones here and try to get all level. The problem is when you have big trucks, nothing ever stays flat or level, and so they have blowouts and rough patches, and so they're always trying to repair those. We've had such a great time here. So thankful for Benny and Eva and Robin for helping us while we're in Paraguay. It's been so neat to meet some great people and to have such a good time together. Go to farms and learn about how they do agriculture here, and also how we can help with their air seeder needs. Until next time, God bless and keep on farming.
Make sure you like and subscribe to keep up on all the fresh content posted weekly, which includes helpful tips and tricks, new products, and various adventures. Also, make sure you check out Reddy's website to shop our performance air seeder solutions.